when I was up there, spending a lot of time talking about the Dodgers as well, obviously doing the show with Travis. Um, the pulse in LA and the pulse from Dodger fans is Dave Roberts is the problem. The Dodgers are not winning a World Series because that manager is holding them back. And whether, listen, maybe it's an emotional feeling. I remember always having conversations with Trav, and he would say that, look, this team is basically they're just like a formula, and everyone just goes by the formula. So that front office, these are all predetermined decisions. I don't know how you guys felt about this World Series run, but a lot of what the Dodgers were doing did not feel predetermined to me. I did not feel like watching the Dodgers in this postseason run. I didn't. They weren't predictable. Where I think in previous years they were predictable. Guys got to step up to make your manager look good. Guys obviously have to step up and come through. If Dave Roberts makes a decision on the fly, if that decision doesn't, if that pitcher doesn't come through or that batter grounds into a double play or whatever the case is, then it's going to make Dave Roberts look bad. So I understand that Freddie Freeman had moments and the pitching stepped up and so many different people were clutch, and you can kind of go up and down the list of how the Dodgers came through for Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts won them that World Series. He didn't make a mistake. Does somebody want to go back and tell me where Dave Roberts was wrong during this World Series run? What did Dave Roberts do wrong? Because I can't tell you that I can point to anything. I thought Dave Roberts had moments where he made a decision. Okay, Miguel Rojas can't go. He was giving Tommy Edman opportunities, and Tommy Edman was coming through for him. Tommy Edman, at one point, was batting cleanup. He was the NLCS MVP, Tommy freaking Edman. Okay, give some credit to Dave Roberts for putting him in that spot. Kike was getting opportunities. Kike was coming through for him. There were times, I mean, I could even go back to yesterday's game and say Blake Treinen is still in the game at this point. Treinen would come through for him. There was a moment, if you guys remember, I'm going to go back to it, against the Padres where everybody thought Walker Buehler was coming out of the game. It was a 6-5 game. Tatis was up, and he goes up, looks at Walker Buehler, looks at Will Smith, and kind of was like, well, you guys figure it out, and walk back out. The times that you've looked at the Dodgers and they just look like, yeah, this is all just a math equation and they're only going to go by the analytics. I didn't feel that this year. I'm sorry. I didn't feel that this postseason run. Whether they do that for 98 games or their 98 wins, whatever happens in the regular season, they're a lock to make the playoffs. But I did not feel watching the Dodgers this year that they were, or in this postseason, that Dave Roberts was just strictly, well, guys, I can't do this because the front office said do this. It felt like there was more of a feel to the game. And that, I think, has been missing from the Dodgers, that it's too based on analytics, that there is no, yeah, but I feel like this guy can come through at this time rather than I'm just going to pull him out because the situation tells me to pull him out. Dave Roberts, I don't feel like made any mistake. I really don't feel like he made any mistake. And he went from a guy that was one game away from probably getting fired. Because if it's 3 years in a row that you're out in the NLDS, and that's the challenge that the Dodgers were facing in that first round, he went from one game away from not just being on the hot seat, but probably being fired and being remembered from a Dodger fan base perspective of, yeah, that manager just could never get it done, and he had all the resources in the world, to now probably having the seat as long as he wants. The players like him, and obviously front office likes him. And I think the most important thing, if you're a Dodger fan, he came through. I didn't see one. Somebody tell me where Dave Roberts made a mistake or a move that he made backfired. I don't know what it was. It could have happened yesterday. It could have happened yesterday where you're like, Blake Treinen's still in the game. They're going back to Walker Buehler on one-day rest. It could have happened yesterday, and it didn't happen. And they won a World Series on it. And for all of those that had a lot of hate on Dave Roberts, that's okay. You can have that. I mean, as fans, I love when people give him his flowers now. You were all wrong. No, you could be right at the time and the situation, but the Dodgers didn't make a change. They held on to Dave Roberts, and Dave Roberts came through. Dave Roberts came through in the biggest of moments. I was very critical. I always, especially 2022 and 2023, it's like, yeah, that roster is just too good of a team to be getting either swept by the Diamondbacks or losing in 4 to the Padres. It's like, yeah, it's this Dodgers team, and they've had other moments. Obviously some colossal failures in the postseason as well, where Dave Roberts has been there. So I think all of that had been mounting, but there is nothing negative to say about Dave Roberts. And if you got anything, then you're just, you're obviously just hating on that. All right, let's see what we got here. I had a feeling leaving Trinan to face Stanton was going to be a bad decision. I think a lot of people did. I'll go back to what I just said. This is, by the way, this is a great point too. Experience is king. Basically, over time, the more experience, it's like I felt like that there were so many different moments or opportunities this could backfire on Dave Roberts, and none of them backfired. Literally, none of them backfired. Let's see what else we got here. Welcome to the Hall of Fame, Doc. Yeah, he does have the, I think, highest winning percentage in the regular season. So now you lob 2 World Series on top of that. It's completely different. It changes the game.